So I think it's definitely safe to say that I'm really impressed with the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Now, it took me a minute to decide whether I wanted to get this one or the smaller variant that I really wanted to get at the beginning and launch. But I got a really good deal on this one, so that's why I went with this one instead. Some of you guys have asked, why didn't you get the smaller one? I just got a better deal on this. And so, better deal, meaning lower price, and that's it. And I think I'd enjoy the big screen over time. I did play with all the devices, and maybe I'll shoot around to the smaller version later on. But for now, the Galaxy S20 Plus has no issues. This is 3 days later, 72 hours with the Galaxy S20 Plus, and I did turn on the high refresh rate on the display. I decided to go ahead and turn it on. Let's change this to a light thing real quick. No, let's change it back to dark. There we go. I did turn on the high refresh rate. I really wanted to see what this was about, and you know, it's impressive, to say the least. It's smooth. I like to watch videos in 1440p any chance that I get, but you know, just scrolling through, obviously I can tell the difference between 90 hertz and 120. Obviously, it's super smooth. Now, is that a factor that's going to determine whether or not I buy this phone or not? No, definitely not. Let me lower the brightness some more. That's not a selling point for me, 120 hertz, because I will eventually switch it back to 1440p, and that's where I'll live at more than likely. But this 120 hertz, it is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. One of the perks of having this phone is this beautiful display, 6.7 inches, and it's 1440p, 3200 and 1440p. It's great, man. It is absolutely a jewel to look at. Samsung makes some of the best phone displays anyway, so it's not something that I thought would be bad, you know. So the display obviously is one of the main selling points that Samsung might throw out there. This phone has a lot of features that we already know about, like the reverse wireless charging, power share is what it's called. You've got the 4-camera setup on the back right there. It's just a whole bunch going on with this phone, and it's hard to try to tackle it all in a few videos. This is a device that you need to keep for some time. Now, this is running Android 10. Now, when I first got this out the box, it got an update right away. You didn't see that on video when I first did the initial unboxing, but this got an update right away, and I'm on the March security patch, and we're in March. We're kind of in the middle of March, so this is good. So One UI 2.1 is on here, and it's flowing right along. It's really fast, no issues whatsoever. You know, performance on the device, social media is always really good on here for me. And it's no problems whatsoever. So I don't have a problem with performance. I don't have a problem with the software. Nothing at all. Totally impressed. So next, I want to talk about the reason I probably don't have an issue with that is because this phone has 12 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage with a Snapdragon 865 Qualcomm processor. So this is something that you can't shake a leg at. It's a powerhouse device. You've got 12 gigs of RAM, 5.8 used, 36 gigs, or pretty much 37 gigs used of my 128 gigs, and then the battery is still learning. So here's what I want to talk about with the battery. Now, the battery, this is day 3. This battery is going to be impressive. It's good, man. It's going strong, and I don't think I'm gonna have bad battery on here because it has a 4,500 milliamp hour battery inside. Now, the first 2 days I had it on 1440p. On this third day, I have it at the 160 hertz, which is 1080p, 120 hertz, which is 1080p. That's okay for me. You know, like I said before, I will put it back to 1440, but I want to do some battery testing with it on 120 hertz. And I think it's going to be fine. I don't think I'm going to have any issues with the battery draining really fast. I just think this phone is just going to be a win no matter what I throw at it. It does have something that I miss from the A line, which is a headphone jack. But I do have Galaxy Buds, and I'm not too much worried about that. So Bluetooth, or I can use a dongle or whatever adapter, and that'll be fine. But one thing, the stereo speakers on here are actually really impressive. Some guys wanted to test this phone in this direct sunlight against other phones. The phone definitely is bright in sunlight. I'll test that at some point or another. But really what I could do is just put the phone right under my LED light. I have some very high power LED lights. And I think it would really kick in, and you can kind of see, how bright the screen could get, and if it's readable in direct sunlight. But I think I've used it obviously in direct sunlight, and it's totally fine. You just have to take my word for on that for now. But ultimately, the screen is super bright in direct sunlight. It goes all the way up, and no problem. Like right now, I have the display turned all the way down roughly to about 20% or 15%, and it still looks really good. So, that out of the way, battery, screen, performance, software, memory, RAM, all those things coupled together, you just have a great phone. The hardware on here is something that I dislike about it, because it's the same old slippery design. I really would like to see, I could live without wireless charging and wireless power share and all that wireless stuff, and switch to a metal design, because I think the metal designs are more premium. And that's just my personal opinion. Metal phones look better, feel better in the hand, and they're just better to me in so many ways. Now, last but not least, obviously, is the cameras. I mean, I took photos with this phone at night, and I took like of the moon or whatever, and just some dark photos. It was just incredible, man. I mean, I'm totally not gonna rag on this phone, man, because it's just so good at this point. Any of the Galaxies are probably good. I've ignored all the things that I've heard about the Ultra, because I don't have the Ultra. I used it for a little while, decided not to get it. But I think if you buy any of the Ultras, to be honest, I know the Ultras have some, I think it's focusing issues. This phone does not have any focusing issues. No, none. I haven't had any trouble with taking photos, nothing like that. I don't. I've been comparing photos next to my Pixel 4 XL, and this phone is impressive. While I still favor the Pixel 4 XL for portrait shots, this phone is very impressive, and I'll save that for another video. But speaking of video, 4K at 60 on the front and the rear, folks, you can't sleep on that. It is just absolutely great. There's absolutely no way to sleep on these cameras. They are great. Fantastic, man. The front camera is really impressive when it comes to doing video. I could use this phone. This is just yet another phone that I could use just to do vlogs and things right here in the office. The audio is good, or just anywhere. The audio is good. It's nothing that I don't like about this phone right now. So 3 days in, it's not about the hype. It's just that this phone is performing very well. It's not doing anything wrong at this point. Nothing. The only thing that I dislike is this slippery software, slippery hardware. I wish they would just ditch this and give me a metal design. But I know wireless charging is the thing of the future. It's the now, and I know that's what people want. Yep. So I wanted to give you 72 hours with this phone, man. I had to take a break, obviously, because I'm still really busy. But I want to give you 72 hours with this thing. It's been more than 72 hours, but I had to give you my spill at this point. The fingerprint reader in screen is really fast. It's fast enough. It's not the fastest, that's for sure. Definitely is not fast as my OnePlus devices, but it works every time. From what I can see, I haven't had like a misstep, unless my hand was wet or something, or that's the only time that I've had it say didn't get a match. Also, the facial recognition. Let me see if I can get it from behind the camera. Can't get it. I'm too far behind the camera. But the facial recognition is very fast. Now it's 2D facial recognition, so obviously it's not going to be as secure, but it's good to go. It's good to go. So what do you think about your Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, if you have the Plus? Are you impressed with the battery? Do you like the cameras? What do you think about the software? Do you like the screen? How do you feel about the 120 hertz refresh rate on the Samsung device, man? This is really smooth, and I really can't tell unless I'm actually looking at just scrolling back and forth with apps and stuff like that. But other than that, I am extremely impressed with this phone, man. I just can't stress it enough. It's that good. So I got to get back to work. Well, not work, but I got to take care of some more things. And I will see you guys in the next video. How do you like your Samsung Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra? Let me know in the comments. It's your man Jay. See you in the next one. Take care.